Imagine Maxwell Maltz sitting with you in a cozy Hollywood studio back in 1960. He watches as a patient peers into a cracked mirror, winces at his scars, and wonders if life will ever change. Maltz smiles, leaning in. What if the problem isn't your face or failures, but your self-image? What if your brain is a goal-seeking machine, wired to act on how you see yourself? We're about to crack open Psycho-Cybernetics, where a rusty old plastic surgeon unlocks the secret to rewiring your mental picture and your destiny. But first, why exactly did his patients suddenly change after surgery? The answer isn't what you expect. Maxwell Maltz stumbled on a startling truth early in his career. Some patients who'd had irreversible surgery still felt like their old selves, crippled, awkward, unlovable. Why? Because changing looks didn't always change the mind's picture. Here's where the self-image grabs the wheel, even steering your fate. One of Maltz's patients, a man named Bill, had his nose radically reshaped after a nasty accident. Physically, Bill was unrecognizable, the scars gone, his profile clean. Yet Bill kept avoiding social gatherings like before. Maltz was baffled until Bill confessed he still felt like the injured, broken Bill inside. This disconnect stunned Maltz and sparked an obsession. The body changes, but the self-image resisted. What did Bill need to rewire his mind, not just his face? Picture this, your brain as a guided missile locked onto a target, the target being your goal or self-image. Once fired, the missile uses constant feedback to adjust course and zero in perfectly. Maltz calls this the cybernetic mechanism. Just like a missile corrects its path despite winds and obstacles, your brain steers your actions automatically toward the mental picture you carry. Change the picture, and your life's trajectory changes too. Here's the kicker, shifting your self-image doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you act, who you attract, even how problems solve themselves. Maltz found that when patients saw themselves as confident, capable beings, their external world shifted in kind. This is why positive visualization isn't fluff. It's your brain physically altering its autopilot settings. Your mind becomes the sculptor of your reality once you hand it a finished blueprint. Ever caught yourself daydreaming in vivid detail? Maltz calls these mental movies, and they're your brain's way of rehearsing reality. But what if those movies are playing scenes where you fail? Let's explore how rewiring these scenes transforms your life's script. Maltz worked with a golfer named Cecil, whose swing was disastrous under pressure. Instead of physical drills, Maltz had Cecil close his eyes and run mental movies of perfect shots, slow motion, vivid, immersive. Remarkably, just weeks later, Cecil's actual swings improved dramatically. Maltz realized the brain couldn't tell the difference between rehearsal and reality, and this mental dry run was training Cecil's nerves for success. But how does this trick really pull magic off? Think of your brain like a top athlete's muscle memory, except it's software, not hardware. When you imagine a skill or outcome clearly, your brain sends micro-instructions to neural circuits as if performing the act for real. It's the same reason you can't tickle yourself. The brain predicts and cancels its own moves. This dry run rewires your mental pathways, sharpening your performance before your body even moves. Now the powerful insight. You're the director of your own mental movie theater. By intentionally crafting scenes where you succeed and thrive, you shift your subconscious expectations. Maltz insists this isn't wishful thinking. It recalibrates your behavior like reprogramming a GPS. Suddenly your actions, reactions, even your serendipities align with the new narrative you've implanted. In short, you become the author of your future successes. You've probably been told to avoid failure like the plague. Maltz flips the script, showing failure isn't your enemy, it's a feedback signal, a compass guiding your self-correction. Here's why embracing failure rewires your mental GPS. Take Paul, a struggling actor Maltz knew who bombed every audition for years. Each rejection stung, yet Maltz told Paul to stop fearing failure and start analyzing it like data. Paul began mentally replaying his flubs, pinpointing what went wrong without self-judgment. Months later, Paul landed his first role, and with it, a new mindset. Maltz's lesson: failure isn't a dead end, it's a signal from your inner guidance system waiting for you to pivot. Picture your brain like a radar-equipped submarine scanning for obstacles. Failure sends out a ping, an unmistakable signal your automatic system uses to adjust course. Instead of a permanent roadblock, mistakes act like bumpers on a bowling lane, nudging your brain smoothly back toward your target. Maltz calls this your cybernetic error detector, working invisibly every moment to help recalibrate your actions. Here's the payoff. Once you adopt failure as feedback, your fear vanishes, replaced by curiosity and resilience. Maltz found people who learned this mindset became unstoppable. They used setbacks as fuel, tweaking their self-image and approach until success wasn't a matter of if, but when. Your mental system actually thrives on error and correction. Embrace it, and you supercharge your growth like a finely tuned machine. Here's a curveball. Maltz says emotions aren't just feelings to endure. They're data packets feeding your self-image system. But not all emotions steer you right. Let's dig into how rational emotions guide your internal GPS to your advantage. Maltz tells the story of Clara, a woman recovering from a stroke whose progress stalled. Fear haunted her. The belief she'd never walk again dimmed her willpower, unwittingly sabotaging her recovery. Maltz intervened, teaching Clara to question her fears, grounding her emotions in fact rather than fantasy. Once her emotional wiring shifted, Clara took brave steps forward. This showed Maltz how unchecked emotions could hijack the self-image, but rational emotions create a path out. Imagine your emotions like weather instruments. They detect storms or sunshine ahead but don't control the ship. Rational emotions are the calibrated barometer readings, reliable data your brain trusts to steer decisions. Irrational feelings are static and noise, confusing your autopilot. Maltz teaches that tuning into rational emotions means filtering feelings through reason, creating clear signals that help you steer toward your goals instead of away. The transformation is profound. Once you use rational emotions as guides, you stop getting stuck in cycles of fear, shame, or anxiety. Instead of fleeing or freezing, you make deliberate choices aligned with your true self-image. Maltz's exercises help you name the feeling, examine its accuracy, and consciously decide your next step, rebooting your mindset from emotional hijack to calm precision, your brain as the master navigator. Let's wrap it in a bow. Maltz reveals you have a built-in cybernetic success mechanism. It's always on, always working, if you train it. But how exactly do you feed this internal powerhouse? Let's unlock the steps to hacking your own autopilot. Maltz designed simple but powerful exercises, like visualizing a detailed mental scene of the ideal you, feeling the emotions, sensing success as already real. One patient, a timid salesman named Joe, practiced this daily. Within weeks, Joe's hesitant pitches turned confident, his leads grew, and he landed contracts nobody expected. This wasn't magic. It was feeding Joe's cybernetic system the goal picture to which his brain instinctively adjusted. Think of your self-image system like a high-performance sports car's navigation. Feeding vague or negative directions means you'll spin in circles or stall. Maltz tells us to input clear, positive, specific goals, your brain's equivalent of GPS coordinates. This focused mental programming activates your cybernetic mechanism, making it automatically adjust your behaviors, habits, and choices toward that destination, with brutal efficiency. The daily payoff. Once you consistently feed your mind this positive blueprint, your outer life changes in synchrony. You start attracting opportunities, relationships, and solutions aligned with your new self-image. Maltz calls this living with your success mechanism engaged, a state where your autopilot works asterisk for asterisk you, not against. The real secret, it starts with the mental pictures you choose every day. Remember Bill frozen in the mirror despite his new face? Maltz gave us the key. It wasn't the reflection that held him prisoner, but the mental image stubbornly stuck in the past. Now that you've met the cybernetic system, the guided missile of your mind, and learned to rewrite your mental movies, embrace failure's valuable signals, and pilot emotions with thoughtfulness, you hold the remote control. Try this tonight. Visualize a success scene so vividly it feels real, then carry that feeling into tomorrow. Your brain already knows where to go. Now it's time to let it steer. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.